There's a certain kind of person who suddenly starts whispering thoughts out loud when nobody else is around. Sometimes it happens while pacing around the room late at night. Sometimes while staring at the mirror after a difficult day. And sometimes in the middle of ordinary moments, like making coffee, searching for lost keys, or replaying a conversation that happened hours ago. Most people laugh it off when they notice themselves doing it. They stop immediately if someone walks into the room, as if talking to yourself is something embarrassing, something strange. But what most people never realize is that many people who talk to themselves are not disconnected from reality at all. In fact, they're often deeply connected to their inner world. Their minds are rarely quiet. There are thoughts moving constantly beneath the surface. Questions, emotions, imaginary conversations, unfinished worries, things they wish they had said differently. And sometimes, speaking out loud becomes the only way to slow those thoughts down long enough to understand them. Psychologists have studied this for years. The brain actually uses language to organize emotion. That's why people instinctively say things like, "Okay, calm down, think, it's fine, just breathe." Those small whispered sentences are not meaningless. They're forms of self-regulation, the nervous system trying to stabilize itself in real time. And interestingly, many people who talk to themselves learned very early in life that they had to process emotions alone. Maybe they grew up feeling misunderstood. Maybe they learned to overthink every social interaction. Maybe they became emotionally independent long before they were ready.
So instead of processing emotions outwardly with other people, they developed an inward relationship with themselves. And over time, that inner relationship became a voice. Not imaginary, not irrational, just familiar. For some people, self-talk becomes a quiet form of companionship during emotionally heavy moments, a way of feeling heard, even when nobody else is listening. And the strange part is, many of these people are incredibly self-aware. They notice small emotional shifts, tiny changes in tone, invisible tension other people ignore. But that level of awareness comes with a cost, because the mind rarely fully rests. It keeps replaying, analyzing, preparing. Sometimes they rehearse conversations before they happen. Sometimes they replay conversations long after they end.
And eventually, the inner dialogue becomes so active that silence itself starts feeling uncomfortable. That's why they speak out loud. Not because they're crazy, because their thoughts feel heavy carrying alone inside the mind. And maybe that's the part people misunderstand most. Talking to yourself is not always a sign that something is wrong. Sometimes it's a sign that the mind is trying to comfort itself, guide itself, understand itself. Sometimes it's loneliness trying to sound softer. Sometimes it's intelligence trying to organize chaos. And sometimes it's simply a person trying to feel emotionally present inside their own life. So, if you've ever caught yourself whispering thoughts under your breath, replaying conversations out loud, or quietly speaking to yourself when nobody else was around, your mind may have been doing something deeply human. Because beneath many behaviors people feel ashamed of, there's usually a nervous system trying its best to feel safe, understood, and emotionally steady in a world that often moves too fast for quiet minds.